This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 11 in the National Football League. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And who's playing better football in the AFC than this Kansas City Chiefs team? Nobody is the correct answer. Maybe the New England Patriots, but who was the last team to beat those Patriots? You guessed it, this Kansas City Chiefs football team. And so I'm not saying, I'm just saying, with a win here against the Super Bowl defending champion Seattle Seahawks, this team will go to 7-3. And if the improbable happens in St. Louis, where the Rams can upset the Denver Broncos, we got ourselves a first place tie, folks. So, hey, Kansas City with a lot at stake here. And this is a big game for Seattle, too. Let's not just put this focus on the Chiefs. Seattle, look, the division may be out of question, but the playoffs are not a definite for anybody in the NFC right now unless you're going to win your division. Nothing is for certain in the NFC. So you've got to play every week like it's your last because it's wide open with about 8 teams vying and jockeying for about 6 postseason spots. Somebody's going to get left without a chair in this game of musical chairs in the NFC. And it's going to be somebody in that NFC West division. Not all 3 of those teams that deserve to go will go. Because of that dreaded NFC South and somebody having to get a spot there, somebody's going to get left out. Whether it's a team in the North, a team in the East, or one of these teams, if not both of these teams in the West that aren't winning this division, somebody's not going to get a ticket to the dance. So if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you need to win every game that you can win because it's getting really dicey in that NFC playoff picture. So huge game between 2 teams playing outstanding football right now. Let's jump into it. Outstanding Kansas City Chiefs opening drive consisting of 50, and this is a Kansas City Chiefs drive right here. I mean, this is what they do. This is how they grind you into oblivion. 15 plays, over 9 minutes of the first quarter clock. That is how they do it. That's how they roll. And so they served up a steady diet of Jamal Charles. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names, including a 1-yard touchdown on a 4th down on a option pitch from Alex Smith, who flicks it to Jamal Charles at the last second. He's able to win on the outside, gets around the corner, gets in the end zone. 7-0 Kansas City Chiefs in this game early on. That's how you punctuate a 15-play, 9-minute drive. Not with a field goal. Who does that? Who puts together a 15-play, 9-minute drive and then says, hey, I'm going to settle for a field goal? No. You punctuate that with an exclamation point, with a touchdown. That's what the Chiefs did. 7-0. Kansas City up on top of this game as we head to the second quarter. Hawks respond with a balanced drive. Marshawn Lynch doing the heavy lifting on the ground. Doug Baldwin taking care of the work in the air as Doug Baldwin gets in the end zone from 9 yards out. And the key play on that drive, a Ron Parker hands to the face penalty that extended the drive after Russell Wilson was sacked and fumbled on the play by Justin Houston. So that was a huge play, that Ron Parker hands to the face penalty, negating that play. So Jamal Charles, so 7-0 in the game after the Doug Baldwin touchdown. Jamal Charles with runs of 29 and 20, and the latter going for a touchdown as he is gashing this Seattle Seahawks team in this game. And the crazy part about what is happening to this Seattle Seahawks defense is that we're seeing chinks in the armor. We're seeing them not do some of the things that we've come accustomed to seeing them do. And one of the things that they've been good at, and they're still good at, but the elite teams get them, is running the football. And we saw Dallas, elite rushing offense, run the football on them. We saw the Chiefs in this game, elite rushing offense, run the football on them. If you can run the football with the best of them, and you've got an elite back, you can go after this Seattle Seahawks team and they can't do a damn thing about it because they're missing some of their stuff from a season ago. I mean, they underrated and undervalued Red Bryant. He's no longer there. So did Chris Clemens. He may have not gotten to the quarterback as much, but he was a better run defender than, say, a Bruce Irvin is. He's much better. And then, you draft guys like Cassius Marsh, but he's not ready to go quite yet. So there's some holes right now in this Seattle Seahawks defense, and they can be had. And also, hey, teams are throwing the football on them as well. I thought Eli Manning had some opportunities last week to throw the football. Odell Beckham Jr. gave Richard Sherman a little bit of work last week. And I know you were without some of your best players, including Cam Chancellor a week ago, but still, this team isn't what they once were defensively. So now you're asking the offense to have to pick up the slack. And that's not something that this offense was built to do. This is an offense that's built and predicated off of the defense forcing turnovers and holding teams down under 24 points so that they can win the game. And now you're asking the offense to have to score up over 24 points almost on a weekly basis, and that's not something that this offense is equipped to do each and every single week, especially if they're not going to get turnovers. And what team are you going to play and not get turnovers against? Kansas City Chiefs, led by none other than Captain Check Down! Alex Smith, only 16 passing attempts in this game, 16 on the day, 11 for 16 for 108 yards. Hey, that's game manager all day, but there's not a better game manager in the business than Captain Check Down Alex Smith. So, as it's now 14-7, Chiefs on top after the Jamal Charles 20-yard run. The Hawks add a late field goal in the first half to make it 14-10. Then Travis Kelce fumbles the football, gives the Seahawks an opportunity to get another field goal right before the half, and so they say, hey, don't mind if I do. They knock it home. It's 14-13 as we head to the halftime break. We come out of that break, and the Chiefs start the second half with a field goal. Give me back my field goal, please. 17-13, Chiefs are on top. A Jamal Charles, and this is something that he's gotten much better at, because at one point in time, he had an issue holding on to the football, but every now and again, it will rear its ugly head. It did on this particular play. Jamal Charles puts it on the carpet. Seahawks recover the fumble. They take that fumble and turn it into points. A 27-yard Luke Wilson catch down to the one gives Tony Moyaki. Look at Tony. Tony M coming back to the place where he started his career, and this probably was so sweet for him. He probably wanted this touchdown more than anybody else on the field, and he gets an opportunity on play action fake, wide open in the back of the end zone. Russell Wilson hits him. Tony Moyaki comes back to Kansas City, scores a touchdown. Remember when we thought he was going to be what Travis Kelce has been for this team right now? Remember when we thought he was going to be that guy? He had done some things the year prior, and it looked like he was on a ride, and injuries just ravaged his career. Well, he scores a touchdown to give the Seahawks their first lead of the game at 20-17 as we head to the fourth quarter. 47-yard Jamal Charles run sets up a 4-yard Nile Davis touchdown to give the Chiefs back the lead at 24-20. So Jamal Charles gashing this Seattle Seahawks team, and the Seahawks had success on the ground. Marshawn Lynch well over 100 yards in this game. Hawks over 200 yards rushing as a team, but Jamal Charles was the difference in this game, and I'll talk about that at the end of this breakdown. But Seattle drives all the way down to the 1-yard line to respond to that touchdown. They get all the way down to the one, go for it on fourth down, cannot convert as Russell Wilson throws a corner route to Doug Baldwin. It is not even close. Had this been a closer pass, maybe you could complain about pass interference, but because this pass was so errant, I don't think there's anything to discuss. This wasn't a catchable pass, and so turnover on downs. And so excellent challenge by Andy Reid late in the ball game. The Seahawks are awarded a first down on a Jermaine Kearse catch. He wasn't even close to the first down yet. They were going to be given a first down. Instead, Andy Reid throws a challenge flag. They look at it, and they determine that he was a yard short of the first down. And this is one of those big, beefy defensive lines that you don't want any part of. Seahawks think they're going to just send beast mode out there to pick up the first down. Chiefs say, no, not today. as they denied the Seahawks on 4th down for the second time in this ball game. Dustin Colquitt punts the football, and he's one of the best in the biz at doing this, pins them inside the 5-yard line. Great special teams play by the coverage unit to get down there, stop the ball from getting in the end zone, down it inside the 5. And so Seahawks have one final opportunity to get in the end zone. They cannot do it as the pressure mounts. I don't know how Russell Wilson got the football off. Don Terrypoe got his big mitts on him, was about to yank him down. Somehow Russell Wilson spots beast mode and is able to use the physical strength, every ounce he had in his body, to fling the football to him, because Don Terrypoe, that's a big man, was about to pull him down, and he got it off. Don't know how, but it wasn't enough. They don't pick up the necessary yardage on 4th down. Turnover and downs. Chiefs win the football game 24-20. Big win for Kansas City at home. Dangerous team. The one thing that scares me about this Chiefs team is how heavily they rely on Jamal Charles. Now, we saw this in the playoff game last year against Indy, where Jamal Charles goes down early in that game. Now, you jumped out to a huge 31-7 lead, I believe it was, in that game before things unraveled in the second half. But he's such a big part of your offense. He catches the football. He runs the football. He does. I mean, Alex Smith, listen to what I'm saying to you. Alex Smith only had 16 passing attempts in this game. You can't live like that often in this league and get away with it. Now, the defense is playing lights out, but you gave up over 200 yards rushing in this game. Just think of it this way. You're not going to be in the comfy confines of Arrowhead because you're not going to win your division most likely. Now, I say that, and you're tied with Denver right now. Thing is, you still got Denver one more time. That game is at Arrowhead. Can you finish out the season strong enough? You still got to play Arizona. Okay, that's going to be a tough one, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that game is in Arizona. So you still got to go to Arizona. That's going to be a tough one to get. Either way, if you can find a way to navigate your way through the AFC West, because you still got Oakland twice, including Thursday Night Football, and you still got San Diego one more time, that's at Arrowhead as well. If you can navigate your way through the AFC West, take care of a little bit of business out in Arizona, who knows? We could be talking about a changing of the guards in this division, but passing the ball 16 times in one game, relying on Jamal Charles heavily. And I know he was out earlier in the season and you got it done with Nile Davis. It's not the same. You need Jamal Charles. If anything happens to him, this team is in serious trouble. But you got it done. This was a great watch. I mean, probably the best game of the day. For a week that was supposed to feature some huge, heavy-hitting matchups in the NFC, this was, to me, the best game of the day. A lot of fireworks, a lot of runs. Jamal Charles is he not the best back in the league? I tend to think so. I mean, you watch this game and how could you disagree? This kid is phenomenal. That's going to do it. And for the Seahawks, you lose this game. Tough place to play in Arrowhead. You didn't get it done. The defense has to step up. They've got some soul searching to do, because 24 points should be enough to win for this team, or 20 points used to be enough to win for this team. And to surrender 24 and most of it coming on the ground, I mean, you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, what can we do better as a defense to help our offense out? Because you can't get mad that the offense is only scoring 20 points. You can't get mad because this is what the offense was doing before. You're not doing what you were doing before. So defensively, you got to tighten up the screws if you want to get back to the postseason, because, again, nothing is promised to anybody this year, as the NFC conference is wide open with a lot of teams vying for only 6 spots. That's going to do it for the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I got plenty more games to break down in week number 11 in the National Football League. See you in a bit.
In the lab.